The devaluation and invalidation of one's own emotions in BPD is so detrimental to ourselves. Because generally in childhood and our growing years, we experience such invalidation that no emotion felt safe to express or comfortable to even feel. And that transcends into adulthood. It becomes the norm to dismiss and brush off our feelings, just put them away and pretend it never happened or was never there to begin with. And of course, not every emotion is comfortable, but with BPD and other similar diagnoses, it's on another level of an emotional wound and pain, and it feels like you have a gaping wound. And these emotions often feel that they need to be numbed in order to be functional, and a lot of cases, it is needed to some extent. And to have a chronic dismissal of feelings and invalidation of emotion truly does so much damage to the forming of the psyche, cognition, and just various pathologies we develop. When we have such big emotions that feel like they cannot be displayed or shown because they simply are too intense and likely will be invalidated in some way, so we hide away and we hide those emotions, shutting out our true feelings and our true self, which can lead us to at any point kind of like burst or act out in some way. It's a slow buildup of sometimes little triggers that are often dismissed, invalidated, sometimes even by yourself. And the acting out can mutate and change depending on the trigger, depending on the context, and depending on where you're at in life. And a way to try to normalize ourselves and combat these large emotions that truly feel uncontrollable is through our internal voices or introjects that are often negative and say things like, how could you overreact over things so small? No one would react this way, further dismissing and invalidating our own feelings and emotions, creating a cycle that feels endless. We tell ourselves it's not that bad, it's not that serious, for so long that even egregious, disgusting, illegal things take place, and we become so far removed from situations and from ourselves that we don't even realize when someone's committed a crime against us. And that line tends to get continuously blurred through manipulators, abusers, narcissistic people. The devaluation started from external sources, but become internal, even if the external voices are no longer present physically in our lives. When you cannot differentiate these internal voices from external ones, and which one the true you's voice truly is, it's especially all-consuming and difficult to differentiate these voices even further if you don't even know or understand what invisible battles you're actually fighting, like BPD and other mental health conditions. If any of these feelings or things I've talked about resonate with you, please reach out to someone or a professional in your life to try to figure out what's going on, because nothing is more difficult than living an unexamined life, which I believe is from a famous quote, but I can't think off the top of my head. It's like an unexamined life is a life not worth living. Prior to being diagnosed, I really thought that there was something wrong with me, and I was unfixable. It was just like, I'm that crazy anomaly that cannot be helped. Like, it's too severe. And that type of thinking is just so untrue. The knowledge of at least understanding more of myself and where these internal voices come from is extremely helpful to just coping with everyday life. Knowledge will always be your superpower, so never stop seeking out answers, never stop asking questions, no matter what, because you're worth it and you deserve it, and your mental health matters.